much of anything here today.
And why the millennial generation is starting to give up because they can't afford to get a good job or own a house.
8 million Venezuelans voting for this assembly, saying it's actually less than 3.
It is. And people are going to start rioting in the streets.
Was reported to have asked Putin for military support that would help him stay in power.
We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
And they ignore him. And 8 more years goes by till Bernie himself finally admits to his sons, hey, I've been running a Ponzi scheme.
Does its dominance mean it can use the alliance for its own ends?
Since 1981, bond yields, also known as coupon rates, have just gone down and down and down.
The Federal Reserve note will be your biggest financial liability.
RTD Live Talk, back at it for round 2 today. And today is going to be somewhat of a different approach, just because, I wanted to actually, make it more of a crypto chat tonight, because it's, depending on how you look at it, it could be a sale, or on the other side of the thing, it could be the end of a, Ponzi scheme or whatever some people might want to call it. But tonight's chat is labeled a look at the fire sale on cryptos. And so myself personally throughout the day, just constantly looking at the charts to see what's going on and what's on sale. And so I wanted to find out from our fellow crypto enthusiasts out there, what are some of the most exciting projects or opportunities that they themselves might be keeping an eye on. And so want to just scan through the coinmarketcap.com and get an idea as to what's going on and who's keeping an eye on what, and what might be some great opportunities in the days ahead. So that being the case, welcome to RTD Live Talk. My name is Mike, the host of Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. And we're here, people, so let's have some fun and enjoy ourselves this evening. And let's educate each other in some form or fashion. Also, had a great opportunity to speak with David Morgan earlier. So I'm looking forward to finding out your thoughts on my interview with Mr. Morgan. Some of his analysis in reference to the Bitcoin massacre that's taking place right now, or correction, or sale, depending on how you look at it. So with that being the case, let's talk about what's going on. Want to find out if there's any projects that I myself may not be aware of, and I'll share with you a couple of things that I've been keeping my eye on throughout the day, and kind of more so just sitting on the sidelines waiting on some things to hopefully go lower. And so this week is Thanksgiving, and so I'm very grateful and thankful for this market correction. As I mentioned to David Morgan earlier, I've become very grateful for manipulation, because manipulation has helped me get further involved in things that are of interest to me and things that I believe have value down the line. So I'm sure a few people out there can agree with me in that regards as well. So with that being the case, welcome to RTD. If you're new to RTD, we got a chat going right here. Feel free to chime in where you're from and let us know, and welcome to the community. And also, more importantly, there's a number above my head, 1-833-LIVE-RTD. I would love to get your thoughts on what's happening out here. Let me update and cut the phone on so people can actually get in touch with me if they're trying to. But with that being the case, welcome. So let's talk. So what's going on in the chat here? Who's tuning in thus far? We got Philman, we got Mike, Kenneth, MK, John Moore. Welcome, my friend. We got some nicknames, we got some numbers out here. MXP 2000. And so it says, question, investigators on the California fire on PG&E being held accountable. They saying the lawsuit will bankrupt the company. Do you think the government will be bailed out? Do you think the government will bail them out? I'm assuming that's what I said. Philman, not sure. I haven't really looked into the fire situation very much at all. And so knowing that, the whole fire came about at the right time during midterms, or just being somewhat of a distraction. And so what I have heard from other alternative media gentlemen is that I think it was SGT report. I think Sean mentioned that PG&E is owned by or ran by, some form of Rothschild or something of that nature. So if that is the case, I don't know, but I would imagine that all the events that's taken place up to this point in reference to PG&E has been somewhat of a setup / cover-up for the true, ordeal that happened with the fire. So I'm not sure I want to point the blame on PG&E because it seems too precise and accurate and timely that the fire goes blazing and then all of a sudden a pole and some sparks off the wires go crazy and they point at the energy company. So I would think it's a deliberate diversion of our attention as well to be able to point the blame towards somewhere. And so PG&E could be a company that could be used as a scapegoat, but I'd imagine the investors in our company probably already bailed on the company a long time ago, removed all their funds. I'm not sure if it's a publicly traded or I'm not sure what the situation is, but I'd imagine the heavy investors in our company have long bailed, given the fact that that to me is more of a setup than anything else. So as far as the government bailing them out, I don't think so. I don't think so because I would imagine they are aware of the fact that their company is just probably a front for something bigger and better, and it was a deliberate act. So that's just my 2 cents, but I haven't dived into it much to really put any extensive thought towards that statement I just made. It says, when they decide to explode it high, it'll be fast. That way they can leave as many people out as they can. And so, Randall, what are we talking about here? John Morris says, I'm going to do some crypto buying tonight. John, good point, my friend. So what's on your radar tonight? That's the whole idea of tonight's conversation. Want to find out what the fellow YouTubers out there keep an eye on, because as I'll pull up the screen here. And so I was actually just going through CoinMarketCap. And like I said earlier, I've been on my phone all day, out and about, just looking at stuff. I got about 15 or 20 projects that I got selected that I keep an eye on. And whenever they drop, I just get excited. You know how you feel, as a kid on Christmas when you're coming downstairs to the Christmas tree. You don't know what's in the box, but you know it might be something good. That's kind of the feeling I have in reference to a few projects that I have been interested in for a while. And as I see the price drop, I just get excited like a kid in a candy store. And so someone says the 1849 gold rush. Yeah, but it's the 2018 digital blockchain rush. And so I was going to label tonight's chat something in reference to a Black Tuesday, given the fact we have Black Friday coming up this week, and a lot of people will be spending buku dollars on toys and gadgets and things of no true value. I wonder, how will this fire sale and cryptos impact the Black Friday with all those that are aware and informed and interested in, somewhat potential disruptive technology, who would rather spend their money on toys and wasteful gadgets as opposed to, actually get your digits up along with get your weight up. And so let's talk about that, man. So what projects you guys got in mind? I'm definitely interested in learning about some new things, and I'll share with you a couple of things that I want to keep an eye on. It says, Dex M, what's up, my friend? Welcome to the RTD community. As always, guys, as we chat, man, if we going back and forth, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. And more importantly, one thing I want to bring to everyone's attention, which I've noticed, a continuous trend over the last couple of months, especially, that I want to say late spring, early summer, due to the algorithm or whatever it is that the overseer of this channel, everyone knows, the source of this channel here, decided to change things to where a lot of people's viewership has been impacted. And so I remember having live streams where by the next day there'd be more than 1,000 or so people watching and tuning in on the replay. But nowadays, numbers aren't nowhere near that. So clearly, they've impacted the people who are actually able to receive these notices. And then I've been getting message after message of people saying that, hey, Mike, I clicked the notification bell, but I'm still not getting notified. So once again, all I can do is say is make sure you guys click the notification bell if you're interested in being alerted when I release videos, give or take every day, every other day, and when we go live. Because other than that, we won't be receiving any help from the channel source directly. So just as a heads up for those guys that are interested. And so we got Crypto Tuesday. Maybe you are starting something. Yeah, Crypto Tuesday. As long as the prices stay in the red, I will be more than happy to do so. And just to share with you, I think it was yesterday, John Moore said, get your digits up. That's a good one, man. And so once again, I'm never going to stray from my true love of getting my weight up. As always, people, I personally, got a little heavier myself, just on some, I can't pass up a sale on the metal side, given the fact that I believe that down the line, prices are guaranteed to be a lot higher nominally. So definitely take advantage of that, get your weight up. But we're talking about digits tonight, so I want to find out what's going on. And so I said, John says, I'm boring. Probably will grab 30 Litecoin or 15 Litecoin and maybe 0.10 Bitcoin or something. So, John, are you predominantly in the primary coins of LTC and BTC, or do you dip and dabble in some of the other altcoins? And so I noticed, let me see, Digibyte and Smart Cash, both coins that are heavily utilized in South America, as well as in a lot of other countries that are impacted financially or with the economies. And those coins are, are like a cent right now, 1.5 cents. And I remember when Digibyte popped to 7 cents, it was really exciting because there's a large Digibyte community out there. Thumbs up in the chat for anybody that are huge Digibyte fans, because if you just hashtag Digibyte in Twitter, you'll see a large community of people around the world that's following Digibyte. So I would imagine those that are heavy Digibyte people, that they're definitely taking advantage of this sale. And then I wonder, how many people who are late, okay, Mike Valdez says I own 28,000 Digibytes. There you go, my friend. Now, are you going to add to that stockpile or keep it as is? Because I'm thinking like now, depending on, let me see, if I always like to consider, and another question is, how do you guys measure the potential of the coin that you're looking at returning to its former high? And, what opportunities might you experience gain-wise if it exceeds that? And so, of course, we got December 17th, and then we got January 7th for most of the highs. And so I always do the former high to current value ratio and see what the return would be to kind of assess some of the things that interest me. So definitely would like to find out about some new projects. It says, question, Warren Buffett just recently bought billions of dollars of shares of Chase Bank stock. I thought it was JP Morgan. I thought it was Warren Buffett bought into JP Morgan. I heard it was some 5 billion shares. Let me Google this. Bought JPM. See if that's true. Says Warren Buffett. Yes. So here we have, I'll pull this up. So, I mean, apart from him probably also buying probably buying a little JP Morgan, a little Chase Bank, I want to say he purchased, it says Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway just sold the shares as Warren Buffett poured $4 billion into JP Morgan Chase in Q3, according to Berkshire Hathaway's latest 13F filings, which also showed a bigger stake in Apple. And so the question is, what is Mr. Buffett up to? And it looks like he is, either betting or hedging or what? Any suggestions or any thoughts out there? Because I, can't quite tell what it is, other than the fact this guy has billions to play with. So either he foresees something, or he's invested in companies that potentially could experience some type of bailout. Hence, like the whole 2008, where he was a heavy investor in a lot of companies. I want to say I heard AIG and maybe Lehman, I'm not even sure, but he was investing in a couple companies that went under, and a part of that whole bailout package was him basically receiving some of his funds. So is he basically protecting his current billions by investing in firms that he believes are crucial to the economic stability of our nation? Because Apple, being the most influential tech company, is pretty big. And so if he's invested in Apple, is that good to say Apple may be getting bailed out eventually, or some type of government may purchase Apple, or I don't know. But it's good to say if this guy's doing some big moves like this, there's something behind it. So I'm definitely curious to find out exactly what is going on. But I believe after this next market correction, we will definitely find out, unfortunately. And so what else we got out here? What's going on in the chat? It says Warren Buffett just bought all the Bitcoins. Yeah, I bet you Warren Buffett is sitting heavy in a lot of ways. He's sitting heavy digitally as well as metals. It says VeChain excuse me, says Juju, says V-Chain, Thor, good projects, real world usage, look them up, big moves in China under a penny. Yeah, V-Chain I am slightly aware of. I heard of it, but not too familiar with it. But as always, since we on here, I'm okay with pulling it up and see what's popping. Let me pull this up here. VET. And we have a call. Let's find out what's happening on the airways. Oops. I missed a call. I apologize. Feel free to give me a call back and we can chat some more. So let me pull this up here and take a look at it since it's up. And so we have V-Chain, VET. I heard that recently they actually came their main net went live and they initiated some or released some coins. Is that true? And so looking at it came out this past summer. All-time high was a penny, almost 2 pennies, almost 2 cents. And now it's down to that 0.005. So the question is, when and if the market recovers and exceeds prior highs, you know, what can V-Chain be looking at? I'm not too familiar with it, so I don't know much about what's going on behind the scenes. But it's good to say that it could be an opportunity for somebody if you guys are familiar with it. But it's always good to be put on the radar rather. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello? Hello? Anybody there? Going once? Going twice? All right, caller. Thanks for giving us a call. Interesting. Anyway, keep it moving. So as always, feel free to call in, but make sure you're ready to talk about something worthwhile. Says, good evening, Mike. Did you check the article? Sunray Austin, the article. Refresh my memory real quick. I've, over the last couple of days, received a lot of articles, and I'm trying to figure out, let me know which one you refer to, and I'll let you know if I had a chance to look at it. It says, I think people should stock up on water and important things. Danny, I do agree. And along with that, you know, that the idea of stacking up or acquiring life essentials, such as food, water, those should be a given and something that should have been done over a long course of time to where you should be sitting on some things right now. And so that's a continuous and ongoing thing that it's a necessity for our bodies and our lifestyles in general. But in reference to the whole crypto side, that's one of the 3 S's where I mentioned about speculating, because it's not technically, it can be considered investing, but yeah, a lot of people don't really know much about it, and all this stuff is basically new. So it's one of the things where we're throwing, you know, in some cases throwing a dart out into the board trying to hit something. Given the fact is, I truly believe that a lot of these projects, even though there's, you know, thousands of them, most of them will go belly up, but a lot of these companies here are actually viable companies that have legitimate projects that are up and running or working or going to be pretty soon, to where I believe that, you know, this whole your ability to acquire coins and tokens directly from exchanges without having to necessarily go through a broker or dealer or some type of middleman legitimately is similar to the new era of acquiring stocks. The same way that you would go through, you know, Vanguard or Fidelity or something of that nature to acquire, you know, shares in Apple or whatever it might be, minus the commissions. And so I believe that this form of acquiring assets, because, you know, cryptocurrency is considered an asset class now, is something that everyone has an opportunity to do and actually retain the actual rights to your actual coins and tokens. So that's different than owning stocks and things of that nature, because it's usually sitting in somebody's account and you get a piece of paper every day, every month or whatever, saying what your portfolio is worth in dollars. But yet we all know that when things unravel, you know, those numbers will definitely change. So just my 2 cents. So I'm trying to get to this call. So I see someone calling in and I'm trying to open it up, but yet unfortunately, yeah, it's one of them things where too much stuff going on, so it's not going to open. So give a call back and I'll try to get this cleaned up. But keeping it moving. It says, personally, I don't have faith in crypto for now, but I do feel the blockchain technology will last. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's solely a speculative thing, man. Like, this is not something that people should, bet their lifestyle on. I would say definitely, it's to me personally, because I have and I enjoy learning about projects, and I learn about and just follow the sector as much as I can, along with metals as well as the overall monetary system. It's a lot of things going on that really interest me in general, to where I believe in, and I believe in the fact that these projects going on here, they're not going away, and I would rather throw darts at some of these projects that I believe have potential than actually get into the old archaic model of sending money towards a private institution and tell them I want to buy certain shares of ABC stock and not really have any access to it other than just going through somebody to shift my portfolio. So that's just my opinion on how personally I would rather do things. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, Mike? This is Mike Valdez.
Mike Valdez. How you doing, my friend? What's on your mind this evening?
Good. I figured I'd give a call since when I was on last week for the first time, I mentioned Veritaseum, and you said that you like Veritaseum, but you're a little skeptical because it's not the easiest to purchase.
Yes.
And according to Cliff High, that's because it's a direct challenge to the exchanges, so they kind of don't want to entertain that coin.
Right.
But of all the coins out there, I was watching, I don't know if you saw any of the videos, the YouTube videos from when Reggie Middleton was out at the conferences out in Vegas.
Yep.
And basically, they're looking to monetize everything.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what Cliff High says and his webbot, that really Veritaseum is going to become huge. I mean, over $1,000.
Yeah.
Once the collapse, and then the government needs to step in and utilize Veritaseum.
Right. I do agree 100%. And I spoke with Reggie Middleton maybe 2 years ago or so, right when Veritaseum, the whole project, he was giving some details, but really couldn't give much because it was still in the making then. And in talking to him, I could hear his passion, I could hear his dream and vision, but I couldn't quite just, understand his approach. And so ever since then, I've been heavily following him. So I think I watched all those videos, and I am a firm, believer in the idea of what he's trying to do. And I think, if he can actually stay on the pathway he's currently on, he's definitely going to cause problems, because as you hear about everything he's doing in Africa and the Caribbean area, so has a lot of stuff in place that I think is going to be very problematic for the old dying system. So I do agree.
Yes. And, it's like I tell co-workers at work. I say, you got to look at what the big dogs are doing.
Yeah.
And they're all getting into blockchain. So when you hear this FUD, don't pay attention to it.
Right.
You want to be one of the dogs under the table getting the scraps.
Right. Very true. I do agree. And so Veritaseum is definitely one of those projects that I have kept an eye on and definitely looking at, because I know right now it's about $16. So I am keeping an eye on that one. And so definitely I'm hoping it goes a little bit lower. So if it does, your boy will be definitely taking advantage of that opportunity.
Well, Veritaseum, the funny thing about it is last year when the webbot mentioned it, I went to the website, but the problem was when I went to the website, they had a video and it showed a cheetah running. I didn't have any credibility in the website. I didn't understand the video, and I really wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
But because the webbot said it, at the time I had $20 worth of Ethereum. I said, okay, you know what the heck? I'll throw $20 if it doesn't pan out, it doesn't pan out. So I got 6 coins for $20, and it shot up to $250. So I made a 2,000% increase.
Yeah.
At the time I just said, man, I wish I had put more into it, but now a year ago when I first got into it, I didn't really know a whole lot of it, but I knew it was the future. But as this year has gone on, basically this year has gotten all of the newbies out of the business. But those, as you're saying, you look at the project. Don't necessarily look at the coin. Look at the project behind the coin.
Yeah.
Because the coins are similar to a stock.
Right. Right. I do agree 100%. So that's kind of my mindset and the idea that, you know, at the end of the day, in my opinion, when you're looking at, you know, what we're using to acquire either tangible assets or these digital assets, you know, the middle ground is paper, digits, the Federal Reserve note, i.e. the world reserve currency that we as American citizens have the privilege of, you know, being in the best position to utilize, because the world needs the paper for the most part that we have, while we on the other end are, if you're rethinking the dollar like most of us are here, then you're finding ways to try to redeem those things as much as you can. But yeah, of course, you know, responsibly taking care of your responsibilities, living, supplying, saving a little bit on the side. But, you know, one day them pieces of paper won't be worth much. So, you know, I believe that there's more potential in some of them coins and tokens down the line due to the scarcity nature of certain projects that I think is well worth dipping and dabbling in if you're well informed and, you know, you want to, you know, take that risk, because it is a risk.
Right. I mean, everything is a risk. But, you know, when you look at what's going on in the market, you can definitely see that it's being manipulated. But the reality is, because the masses, it hasn't kicked into the masses, it's easy for people with multi-millions of dollars to manipulate the system.
Right.
And like I was a conversation with a coworker today, and he asked me, he said, people with millions of dollars, do you think they knew about this years ago? And I said, it's not an issue of whether they knew about it years ago or not. People with money, they don't get involved with things that are going to take 5 and 10 years to mature.
Yeah.
The reason they have money is they like to flip it quick. They like to do things that they're going to see returns in 30 days. So even if they knew about this then, it's now when they're seeing that it's ready to pop. So that's why they're getting in now.
Right, right. And, you know, it's very timely how, you know, we had the run-up last year, and I wonder, and I'm curious, as this is where I'm curious. There was a run-up to an all-time high of 800 billion or so total market cap in the cryptocurrencies, and then it was a complete drop-off. So what was that spike up? Where did those funds come from, A? So was it a part of the idea of building up the hype that we're currently experiencing now to get people to flood into the market? Or was it just a test run to say, hey, this is what's happening in the future. Let me put the buzz out there. Let me get all the Fox, CNN, CNSBC, all the mainstream channels to put little tickers now. Because prior to that run-up, there was no Bitcoin or Litecoin or Ethereum, no Bitcoin Cash tickers on the bottom of all these major news channels now. But they're there now. So, you know, I believe this is all part of a setup, of course, because the whole goal is for it to go digital, period. But I think, you know, in the short term, there's an opportunity to take advantage of this, you know, because we're being corralled right into the digital paradigm, period. So you can either deny it, resist it, or play along with it. And so I believe with the crypto sector, we're playing along with it. But, you know, we'll see. This is all a big experiment at the end of the day, so I'm not sure where it's going to head, but we're going to find out, don't you think?
Yeah, but, you know, you hit on a point. If you remember, last year when we had the run-up, it could be a test, but what happened is that was when they released the first Bitcoin futures.
Yeah.
And that's when the run-up happened. And so now what's about to happen is you have the CBOE out of Chicago. You've got Switzerland just announced, if you Google it, next week I think they're going to launch their exchange. Fidelity has already said that they're going to launch in February or March. So everybody's saying that there's supposed to be sometime in December a big influx of money into Bitcoin. And then anyone who's not in this system by February of next year, they're going to be too late, because that's when it's going to run up.
Yeah. So, yeah, we will see. But I appreciate your call, my friend. Thanks for calling in, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night. Great stuff as always, people. And so another little bit of news that I think is interesting and very telling, because if I'm not mistaken, you know, this little news here, Backed, BAKKT, was supposed to release this week, if I'm not mistaken, initially, but all of a sudden it's been changed. So I wonder, does it have anything to do with the price just happening now, and why, what, where, when? So it's going to be interesting to see what made them push this back, because this is supposed to be one of the things that's supposed to be a catalyst for bigger prices. But another thing I want to talk about is the idea that, and I think it was brought up on Bix Ware's channel in reference to the whole idea of derivatives and ETFs and all the products that they're trying to spin off of cryptocurrencies, and how it's basically setting up the markets to be similar to precious metals, where you can just create, futures contracts and not have to actually have the actual coins in your possession to basically control price. So every time there's been derivatives and market manipulation of that nature, they've been able to control the price. And so by all those institutional products being given to us, it may not be as good for us as a lot of people might believe as far as that catalyst and price increase. But like always, like I said before, this is a big experiment, so we will find out how this thing plays out. Time will tell. So that being the case, I appreciate that call, Mike. What's happening in the chat? Missed a couple things here. And so as always, the nice time of conversation is, the crypto fire sale. This is Thanksgiving week, so we got a lot to be thankful for. And so for some might be thankful for the recent drop in prices. And I'll share something with you that to let you know how I was feeling yesterday. I put a little tweet out there, and I'll show it to you. And I thought it was funny because I didn't get much of a response. So I take it that people didn't really find it that funny, or perhaps it really wasn't that funny. But I'll let you guys do the judge. And so I'll pull this up on the screen. Where is it at? I thought it was funny. So yesterday, it was one of them times I had my phone in my hand and I was looking at the prices, and so I put this tweet out there. And it's kind of funny to me, but it's I can't think of his name, but him doing his little dance, and I said, seeing all that red in the cryptocurrency market has me feeling grateful for all the manipulation. And then my wife was like, they probably gonna think that's you. I'm like, no, they wouldn't think that's me. That dude's too big. But anyway, so I thought this was funny because he's just sitting there cheesing. And that's kind of how I felt when I saw them prices in red. I was like, man, this is, couldn't get no better. But anyway, that's just me. Maybe I may be the only one, maybe not. But anyway, I thought I would share that because I thought it was funny. Every time I look at it, I happen to laugh. It says, what else? What else you got going on here? It says, pre-1982 copper pennies are the new gold standard. Max Strong. What make you say that on the copper pennies? You got to hold a lot of copper, my friend, to really, retain the value that you could hold in a gram if you wanted to. It says, if I can't smack one in the face with it, it's not money. Richard, that's a good point. You can't smack somebody in the face with digitals, but you can probably take your Trezor or your Nano S, that little small device, and just knock somebody upside the head. And if it break, you got it backed up, so you're good. It says, buy. Dollar cost average. What? We haven't hit the bottom yet. Hood 7610. I hope so. Like right now, the market cap is 143 billion. And I'm thinking like, man, I would love for it to go back to 70 billion. Like last spring, about April. I remember talking with my father, and I was telling him of the things that I believe was coming. And I was, I set him up with a little wallet, was trying to get him involved in stuff. And, he's interested. So I haven't talked to him about it in a while. So I wonder if he has actually made any moves, because I showed him how the prices is going up tremendously. And so he was aware of it. Of course, he's more than aware of getting his weight up and stuff like that. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. Says Tulip Mania. I hope the price goes lower for Friday. Got to get me some Theta tulips. Theta token. So that's I think it's about 4 cents right now. 5 cent, 4 cent. Another one of the coins that I've been looking at. It says, can they suppress silver forever? Faith Hunter. If you had a chance to watch me and Dave Morgan earlier, he was saying that it could possibly happen. And so I wouldn't be surprised. But one thing he hinted on is the fact that they can't manipulate things forever. Everything has to come to an end. How low can it go? Who knows? But once again, you got what you're up against. You're up against a archaic, dying monetary system based upon centrally bank issued debt notes. And then you have physical metals, and then you have a new financial asset class, which, we'll see how it pans out. But, you got options there, in my opinion. It says when NASA takes off in 2022, gold will go to the copper prices in 2025 when they land. Omnibone, that's interesting because, you know, when NASA takes off, and here's another thing. Of course, depending on who you watch, who you listen to, you know, I can't remember who it was, but you know, I personally question everything until I find out more about it for myself. And apart from being told that we went to the moon, and to my knowledge, we haven't gone back since, if I'm not mistaken. We got space stations and whatever else out there from what we're told. But once again, we're looking at video that's been produced by a system that's been designed to tell us on one side of the story. It's the story they want to tell us. So, you know, not to sound conspiratorial or anything of that nature, but how can we really prove or know that, you know, we actually went to the moon? We got some film of people bouncing around on a slow thing that's old and who knows. But once again, you know, we're also told the earth is flat. And so you still got people out here to believe that. But, you know, once again, we have NASA images of a globe with blue and green on it. You know, apart from people who actually may have left the earth to look back, we don't really know it's blue and green. So a lot of things that we've been told, you know, is all up in the air. You know, I don't really go too deep in saying this. I don't really care about all that. You know, it is what it is. But take it for what it's worth. You know, if you want to believe that they can go to NASA and or go to the moon, and then here's a question: if you believe in a sovereign power and the idea of God, and God, you know, doing things uniquely and specifically for this planet, for humanity, you know, having the atmosphere and the gravity and things of that nature, can we really believe that there's, you know, precious metals or a variety of metals that's on this planet here on the moon, given the fact that it appears to be some type of just a bland surface of a planet? So those are all things worth considering. So basically, what I'm saying is, if they find gold, I doubt it, but they're going to try, of course. But once again, what are they finding the gold for? Because if they find it and bring it back, it's going to basically, you know, make gold worthless. And then that's going to ruin all that the system has been based upon in regards to, you know, monetary system being backed by gold in the past. So gold won't be no longer a monetary metal if it's, you know, rolling around the streets like paper. So, but we'll see. But they could, and I don't doubt they're trying to colonize the moon or any other planet for the sake of moving there and leaving a lot of us behind. So we'll see. What else is going on here? So the question is, what other projects out there, people? I heard a couple projects here, but yeah, definitely if you guys are into the whole crypto space, and you probably follow a variety of, you know, YouTube channels, because nowadays I've noticed a trend that if you have, you know, crypto in the front or last part of your name on your channel, you get 100,000 viewers, 100,000 subscribers easy. You talk about a dying dollar. Nobody wants to believe you as of now, but, you know, I think the Rethinking the Dollar concept is very premature anyway, so people will find out in one way or another, but it won't be pretty. It says it will shut down anyone who thinks they rule with gold, like China, counterattack on the dollar behalf. Counterattack on dollar behalf. That could be a good point there, but I don't foresee any type of exploration to another planet or asteroid or anything in a timely manner to prevent what's currently underway. Because as of right now, I would imagine if China, Russia had a hint at the fact that that was a part of the elite's plan to go to another surface and extract metals to bring back here to do what they're doing, I would imagine China and Russia has technology just like us. They can make that same trip and go up there and grab some other type of metal to make it of value. Because if there are other metals on planets, which I don't doubt there could be, we may not have them here. That makes it a very unique monetary source. Give or take, it have the property. So we'll see. It's like 16 of the NASA metals. Google it. All right, I will Google it. And let's see what pops up. Let's see what pops up. NASA to explore asteroid 16. NASA. Yeah. Great title, but once again, so here's that little bit of it says space gold rush. crash the world's economy. Yeah, and that's, you know, this sounds good. It says space miners have got their eyes set on an asteroid valued at £8 quadrillion. 8 quadrillion. It's valued at. How can they assess the value of an asteroid? So here's stuff I just question. I mean, once again, it's all about faith. If you believe that this is a viable project that they're looking to do and actually can pull off, you know, then more power to them. Once again, it's not going to change, you know, much in my opinion, because it's going to take time, you know, because if it takes time to extract it from here, imagine trying to do it in space when you ain't got no gravity. Of course, they got technology, but yet they're not pulling much out in time to get it back here. So I wouldn't really bank on it much as of something that's going to go down. It says 10,000 quadrillion. The asteroid is worth 10,000 quadrillion. That's not even a true monetary number. Like, how do you come up with 10,000 quadrillion? Apart from derivatives, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, you know, as of now, until I hear more about it or see it or can hold it in my hand from another planet, I'm not gonna give it much credence, man, friend. It'd be hard to really believe. It says JSE coin. Anyone can mine it in their browser. Check it out. JSE coin. So that right there, I'm not really sure about how that sounds. Anyone can mine it in their browser. Let me pop this up here and see. We have another caller, so I'll definitely get to that in a second. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mike. This is James from Chicago.
James from Chicago. How you doing, my friend? What's on your mind this evening?
I'm doing all right. Hey, I heard you talking about Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
So I've been researching a little bit about Warren Buffett. He's getting a little old and senile, but I highly respect the man.
Mm-hmm.
He's got $150 billion on the sidelines, losing millions of dollars a day just, you know, by inflation, by not being in bonds. He's sitting in cash. That's it. I think it's more of a contrarian indicator at this point that he's just, you know, pushing, you know, $1 billion here in Apple, $1 billion in Amazon, $1 billion in JP Morgan. You know, it doesn't really matter to him because it's, you know, a super small percentage of his overall holdings. But he is tired of sitting out of the market since, you know, 2015 when valuations were at 125% market cap to GDP. And, you know, the market was still going up after that. He lost, you know, 60-70%.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, what was that number again you threw out there? What he's sitting on cash? What is that number again?
So this is all, you know, secondhand information. But last I heard from, I don't know if it was Hedgeye or, you know, Real Vision, like $150 billion. Like wow. A large chunk of his overall net worth. Company. It's just sitting in cash because, you know, he knows something's going to happen and he's just waiting for it to crack. So on the crypto side note, the cryptos, you know, dropped like a stone. What, January 15th was the top in Bitcoin, something like that?
January 7th was a peak, and right after that there was just a complete drop off. So right after January 7th, that first week.
So I'm seeing this drop off. The market topped January 30th, somewhere in there, you know, plus or minus 0.5% for this last top in September. I'm seeing this crypto sell-off, this second crypto sell-off, as kind of a foreshadowing event, because cryptos are risk assets. We don't have any history with them. We don't have anything like that. It's purely speculation. They're not mainstream in the sense of, you know, you can go to Walmart and use $100 for the Bitcoin and get your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm seeing this sell-off as not only a buying opportunity for crypto, but kind of an ominous warning for the rest of this market, you know, being down 10%, and then cryptos are selling off this much. Like people are done getting out, trying to, you know, get reasonably safe with, you know, their fiat dollars.
Yeah. So you think more people are probably sitting on the sideline right now in cash form, or you think that over-the-counter trading with the cryptos, because a lot of people appear to be selling, and like I've always heard and believed that, you know, there's people, I believe the exchanges are in on this, and they're probably selling off books to a lot of heavy buyers, give or take this whole idea of financial institutional money coming. Do you think that could be the case, or more people probably moving to cash, you think? I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
Nothing's fake. This market is totally fake.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a technical analyst,
mm-hmm.
so I look at the contrarian indicators. You know, if everybody's dodging out, trying to, you know, save whatever they have. You know, Bitcoin hasn't gone up substantially since mid-January. So they're like, oh, you know, I was trying to make quick money. Now I'm not. Maybe they're cashing out. Maybe the exchanges themselves are flooding the market. You know, the banks don't want you in crypto. They don't want anything they can't control 100%. So, you know, this is a buying opportunity. This isn't time to sell. This isn't a time to panic. This is a contrarian indicator. People are getting out and in the streets, and that's when you get in. That's how you make your money.
Right. Good point
Bitcoin could probably go $1,000 lower, but you know, at the end of the day, I think it's going up much higher with the depth of the dollar.
Oh, definitely. And that's the thing. Like one of the things that's very intriguing to me in a lot of the projects that I keep an eye on, I look at the total max supply of coins available, and knowing that they, of course, you know, the project can go sour and they always fork. But at the end of the day, when as a response to what's coming market correction wise, there's going to be a bombardment of fiat currencies from all governments around the world to deal with their isolated problems. And all that's going to do is people are going to try to get out of their current holdings of all their old archaic financial instruments, and they're going to look for something, and it's going to be metals as well as land as well as art and everything else that's you can actually get in your possession, and hence the whole crypto side of things too. So I don't think people are going to run to stocks anymore, you know what I'm saying, as a safe way of preserving their wealth. So, but we will see, because this is all new. But I'm not sure if you had a chance to see my interview earlier with David Morgan, but he was saying that, you know, definitely at the end of the day, you know, about holding something, and he think that Bitcoin long term will probably be a viable option as well. So, yeah, a lot of people feel that same way, my friend.
Was he the one that said that China is trying to get their renminbi into the SDR, and China is also pushing for a gold component of the SDR? If the U.S. dollar fails, we're probably going to end up going to the SDR. But if there's a gold component, like, we have to revalue to, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $8,000 per ounce of gold. Otherwise, you know, we're screwed.
Yeah, and
country that.
I recently saw Christine Lagarde, the IMF, you know, head spokesman, whatever, mentioned about cryptocurrency. So I wouldn't doubt if the SDR eventually turns in some form of an SDR coin, and of course backed by the current currencies along with gold. And so I can actually see some type of coin rollout that the governments use in reference to the SDR model, if that's still part of the plan. So I think it will probably be a digital token, or a digital coin, rather than the old model of, you know, paper SDR or certificate SDR worth X amount of each basket, each fiat currencies in a basket. So, but, you know, once again, this is all the beginning of something very interesting. So by next year, by summertime of next year, we'll have a much better understanding of where we stand globally, I believe.
I'm a little concerned with the cryptos. I don't have any crypto personally.
Yeah.
I like physical assets.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of feeling, you know, the crypto thing is, you know, a revelation, book of the Bible kind of token thing, where you got to have, you know, an internet connection, you got to have a phone, you got to be linked into the system, and then, but that's just conspiracy theory.
Yeah, but that's truthful, because, you know, biblically speaking, I'm a man of faith, and so I know in Revelations it mentions that we will all have one government and one medium of exchange. So I believe that's truer than ever. So we're in that age where we're heading down that pathway of digital assets, because no longer actually having something physical to interchange with eventually. So I can see this all happening, but yet it's a part of a plan. And if you're a perfect person of faith, then you know this all comes to an end anyway. So it's no real surprise to those that are aware and expecting this something of this nature. So, but appreciate your call, my friend.
Come to those who wait.
Oh yeah, thank you, my friend. Thanks for calling. I appreciate you chiming in tonight.
Thank you.
All right, have a good night. Yep. Yeah, man. Good stuff as always. Good stuff as always. Appreciate you guys for chiming in. And so as always, people, we're approaching our hour point, give or take, but yeah, wanted to just, give you guys a chance to share what's on your mind in reference to the whole crypto sector. What projects, got you excited? And if the prices go further down, what will you be looking to acquire more of is the question. So I would be interested in finding out. So a lot of people are XRP fans, and XRP, I personally don't like it, don't look into it, don't really follow it like that, because it just seems too much of a given that, it's a coin surrounded by for the banking sector, and we're trying to get away from, their control and manipulation to buy into it in support of it in hopes of them of institutional money or whoever ramping the price up for us to profit off of it. Just doesn't seem like something that they would want to do for you personally. So that's why I personally don't follow it much. But yet I remember XRP years ago. I remember acquiring a few, but yeah, at that point there was no wallet for you to store it. So I ended up losing most of them. Or I actually lost all of them. So yeah, didn't really, this is when it was like 0.0001 cent or something like that. So yeah, good old days. Cardano, Thor project, not ready for a staking, but I am collecting it. Okay, Cardano definitely. I saw it's about 4 cent, about 4 cent. I think I think it's market cap wise still close to $1 billion. I'm hoping that boy go down further myself, because I've been hearing a lot of things happen about Cardano being utilized. So Mr. Allfang says sold some gold and bought a 100-ounce JM silver bar. 100-ounce JM bar. That's real. 100 ounces, man. That's a lot of weight to run with if you got to run. Yeah, I always thought about getting one of them big boys, but I'm like, the bigger you get, the harder it is to hide, the harder it is to maneuver with. And I'm trying to think like how heavy would 100 ounces be in my hand if I had to try to put it in my pocket or put it in my bag. It's just gonna. Yeah, so I haven't gotten that heavy in one brick. Said Waves is cheap. Yep, I know it's $1. It was like $1 and a penny right now. So I've been looking at that one. Says, how often do you do live videos? Monero. I try to do them every night, every weeknight. Monday through Thursday, ideally, when things work out during the day for me to be able to get here. But at least 4 videos a week live to give you guys a chance to chime in and share your thoughts on what's happening. So the goal is, you see a number above my head, I want to hear some voices, so feel free to call in. Our thread says, I'm also picking up cheap ETC. Ethereum Classic is another one that I think will be a sleeper, because it's a fork of Ethereum that has been under the radar for a while, and it has the same protocol and same use case as Ethereum, minus some of the development. But yet I recently saw a post that they're developing a mainnet or something of that nature now, assuming that they're going to try to compete with Ethereum in general. And if it's $5.50 right now, Ethereum got up to $1,300, and then I think the highest ETC got up was $40. So right now, getting to that $5.50, not a bad little gig. Says precious metals are a world money. Vegas Jeff, I agree 100%. That's why I always say make sure you guys get your weight up. And so once again, despite the fact we're having a crypto talk, as you see in this little logo here, you see that yellow stuff on this side, and our silver stuff. That's sound money. That's lawful money, flat out. It's been that way for 1,000 years. It's gonna be that way for the foreseeable future. So, but in the meantime, you got a chance here to get your weight up. So I just want to make sure I mention that, because you can get a gram at dealer cost, and I usually have a gram here, but I don't right now. I got some silver sitting around here. But anyway, but those are all options definitely. So get your weight up. I'm definitely not going to be one to say no. You want to get heavy, but then if you want to play around, throw some darts at a board, hoping something stick, if you're aware of it and open for the risk, have fun with it. It says ETC let Ethereum make all the mistakes. I don't doubt it, and that could be very exciting, because I would think it was Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Asset founder. I was watching a video a while back, and so if you Google Michael Novogratz and just watch some of his videos, he's a billionaire who's Bitcoin and pro crypto to the T. And I want to say his he was doing a report. He was given a look at his portfolio holdings for his company, and it was, they got, millions, 9 figures, give or take, in cryptos for his asset management company. And it was about 5 main coins, of which Ethereum wasn't in it, but more than half of his portfolio was ETC. So I'm like, whoa, okay, he must know somebody to where he's willing to put that type of money in the ETC. So at that point, I'm like, yeah, it was just reconfirming the fact that, a lot of people, a lot of the billionaires, they got a hand on the pulse. That they know who's moving behind the scenes because they're funding some of the operations to make sure that jumps off. So, yeah. Can one become overweight in metals? Omnibone. Overweight? Overweight in metals. I don't think you can never have enough weight in reference to metals in your possession, but I think there is a weight limit to your ability to travel. And so if you're physically holding all your weight, then you're going to be limited by what you can carry either in your vehicle, your tank, your person, whatever it might be. So that is something to consider. So once again, given the fact where we're heading, based upon everything happening around us, when currencies go belly up, all that liquidity / counterfeit money that goes on usually during a time frame rolls right into metals. And so that's why I believe that gold is something that is lightweight but yet carries a powerful punch to it because it's international money amongst banksters, And so with that being the case, a 20 sack of gold coins 20 times 1,000. So we're looking at, say $20,000 give or take, 30,000 give or take. Right there in your hands, you can move mighty fast with that type of weight. But if you got bricks upon bricks of 100-ounce silver bars, it's a much different load you're gonna be carrying. So, end of the day, there should be some consideration as to what you're willing to be able to move and shift around. So, in my opinion, I don't think you have to be heavy at all for what's coming in reference to being able to acquire or retain some purchasing power for after things settle. So, because most people, a good portion of the population, don't have metal, so you're not competing against anybody really. The bank's going to do what the banks do. The elite have their gold stashes and vaults. The most average person don't have much at all. So, 1 coin, 2 coins, a handful will go far in the case of people needing to actually acquire some things and wanting to trade for. Some people, I believe people will be willing to give up property, give up, valuable assets for a chance to have something they can transport personally that retains value. So, just my 2 cents. It says, low profit, what happened to Litecoin today? Rethink the crypto. Low blood pressure. Litecoin is on sale. And so Litecoin is one of the things where, depending upon what price you got in with it, it could be a downtime for you. But if you got in at an earlier time, it could be an upside for you because you're looking at it like, it's on sale and let me go ahead and get more. Because Litecoin is one of the top 5 coins that every financial institution is looking at adding into their services that they're preparing for you. And so between Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, I think this Bitcoin Cash is going to cause problems as it is now. And then you have, I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 more that will be offered in some type of retirement package coming to a financial service firm close to you pretty soon. So it's crypto clearances a happening. It says, what? Just like ETC, LTC is a sleeper. Yeah, I do agree, 100%. I agree LTC is a sleeper, and I'm hoping it goes lower. I'm hoping all of them goes lower. I would hope they all go to their intrinsic value again, which is 0, so that we can start over again. It says OX will do well, 0x. Yeah, I do agree because it's a Coinbase project, so Coinbase is going to make sure that the people involved will make sure they keep themselves very well preserved in that coin. Says, you're crazy, Mike. I'm staying away from that. You keep stacking those 1s and 0s. Still, I'll stack silver. Low blood pressure. Yes, please do. Stack your silver. but yet don't realize. I mean, one of them things where, you know, stick to the weight, because that is proven, and it's you know, I couldn't say nothing's guaranteed, but it's one of them things that has history behind it. So definitely do what you do. But yet, you know, you still can't deny the fact that you have been introduced to a new financial sector. Now, whether you want to actively participate in it, you will one day be forced to use it, whether it's, you know, pretty soon employers will probably find it cheaper to utilize either some stable coin to save commissions and fees through, you know, the services that they're using now to have direct deposits and whatnot. So don't sleep on the fact that one day, you know, direct deposits via your paycheck might be a stable coin into one of the too big to fail banks that supports that, and you spend that. So just things worth considering, because it's being positioned in a way where everyone can't avoid it. It says buy before Fidelity and the rest of Wall Street. It says backed and wrecked. R-E-K-T. I'm not sure what. Let me see what that one is. What is that one? R-E-K-T. Fill me in on that one. I don't think I've come across that one. Haven't come across that one. It says shields aren't made of paper or crypto. They're made of metal. Daddy, 100%. I agree 100%. Expect BTC to crash to 1,000 by year end. I hope so. I hope it does. Gold is the apex predator of the financial industry. Very true. And that's why, you know, here's the thing. Like, you know, the reason we talk about crypto tonight, period, is the fact that right now it's a fire sale for those that were not able to get in a while back. And so because it's been introduced to us as a financial asset, it is official. It's not like this ain't my opinion. It's in every banking / investment firm's radar right now. They have products waiting on you that will contain some of these same projects. And so if you're going to still participate in this system that we're currently in now, because we have to, given the fact that our Federal Reserve note is attached to it, you're going to pass by some form of a blockchain-based project, whether you're doing business through it or you're using it. And so it's going to have some of these tokens in them. So, you know, to say that I'm not going to participate, I'm not going to get involved, it's fine. But yet, you know, in a way of being able to acquire some more Federal Reserve notes to then get heavier, it might be something you want to consider if you're educated and well informed. So once again, this is not financial advice, it's my opinion. But, you know, it's one of the things where I look at it as an opportunity, just because, you know, thinking outside the box, thinking, you know, being groomed to a new paradigm of thought process. You know, paper is dying. Debt is causing massive problems for everyone. Majority of people don't have weight. A lot of the younger population is interested in digital currencies such as crypto. Where do you fit in the middle of all that? It's a question. So things worthy of considering, I believe. So it says gold, guns, and a getaway plan. All right, what's his name? What's the guy's name from New York? Can't think of his name. More likely 2 bunker in place, the half-cocked car with people, few things, yeah. Yeah, man, so once again, people, you know, it's been good kicking it tonight. We're well over an hour, so I've been rambling for too long, but yet want to give everybody a chance to share and shout out their favorite, coin or whatnot. And so, as always, Ethereum is a fork of Classic. Very true, and it's, I think it's one of the things that's going to be utilized as a backup to Ethereum, worst case scenario, or a competitor to Ethereum in the next couple of years, whatever, giving us some development there. XRP, we're not talking about that tonight, Academics. We already covered that one. And most people, I personally am not a fan of it, given the fact you're participating in something that's designed against you. XRP is not for you to profit with, but yet I think it's way literally it's the banking sector's way of wanting to get involved. And because they pumped, here's the thing, how did they arrive? I remember when XRP was not on the radar as far as being a top 3, top 4 coin, and all of a sudden there was literally within a couple days $1 billion or so pumped in. Where did that $1 billion come from? Investors, or perhaps fractional reserve banking, which was basically brought into existence for nowhere, and they pumped that thing up. It's on the radar now. It has the entire crypto space excited about it, And it's one of the things where it's it's just it's one of the things where it doesn't have a lot of what it does, they got some projects out there, they got things out there, products or whatever, and running. So yeah, but it's one of the things where I personally don't want to support something I'm trying to run from. Just my opinion. It says, I disagree. Bam, my friend. Speak to me a little bit if you disagree. What else we got here? It says, Mike, when did you get in on Litecoin? Be honest. Low blood pressure. I've been a fan of Litecoin for several years. And so I first, because of my thought process, as I mentioned earlier, being a person that likes to look for trends and think outside the box, cryptocurrencies were first. I first caught my eye back in 2011, 2012. I started to look into it, and that was the time I first started to acquire coins. And so for me, I've been watching for quite a while now. Not a big promoter or enthusiast in that regard, but recognizing trends, recognizing where the wind is blowing, I can't pass up an opportunity to participate in something that has been positioned as a way of, transitioning the system. So it's been a couple years for me. And so I personally, that's why when I say it's on sale because I remember when there was no one in it. And the fact that to watch it have grown over the years, it's very interesting as well as exciting. And that's why I think, when the markets drop, I'm like, it's okay, because I've rode and been a part of all the waves and still more excited than ever. And that has to do with the idea that I think, once again, I look for opportunities. So I recognize it as one, in my opinion. It says, I want my $2 movie. $2 movies. XRP is taking over Swift. I don't doubt it. It says that the Bitcoin 333 cycles play out, exchange rates announced. Mike, I'll hit you on Facebook. I've got something you really need to see. I referred to this stream tonight. Please do, Dex. Do that. Facebook. Facebook.com/Rethinking the Dollar, or just shoot me an email at admin@rethinkingthedollar.com. We can wrap there. But other than that, people, as always, it's been fun. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it back and forth tonight. If you found out about a project or two that you might want to do some homework in, feel free to do so. Definitely, this is all my opinion. This is all solely for entertainment. Solely. Want to make sure I make that disclaimer. Do your own homework. Consider everything we've talked about tonight a lie until you find out the truth for yourself. But other than that, people, as always, I want to make sure you guys take advantage of the opportunity. We got a couple more weeks and the Get Your Weight Up month, so definitely, as prices go down, they're going down on everything. So you got more than enough options to pick from as far as what you might want to get involved in. And definitely get that book there, Gold and Freedom. I think there's a lot of similarities, in reference to precious metals to certain cryptos that can relate well to that book there if you want to swap out some words. But it is what it is. But anyway, people, enjoy your night. Be safe. And do what you do. And hopefully we can go a little lower on the crypto sector. I think it'll be fun. Anyway, peace.